Hi, and I'm live right now. I hope you are doing well. So far, it is looking like there's one person who wants to hang out with me. So, not sure who you are yet, so just send me a message so that I can give you more of a personal greeting. But otherwise, if there's anyone who's going to be watching this a bit later, then hello, I hope that your Camp NaNoWriMo is going well. Mine, well, I think I can honestly say that this week, oh, this week the wheels have really fallen off for me for my editing. So, yeah, that was a bit sucky. Oh, so Amanda says, hi, it's me. So very cool. I'm glad to see you're back again. Yeah, it's nice to know that I'm going to have a writing buddy that I enjoyed working with last week, so that was fun. Let's see. Amanda says, I haven't been able to post anything in the cabinet the last few days. I think my internet is acting up. Oh, that's not nice at all. I feel if my internet is down, it usually feels like I have my arms cut off. Like, completely no hands and useless. So, um, yeah, so I hope, Amanda, I hope your internet issues get sorted out on their own, but otherwise, I hope you find a way to sort them out because, like I said, it sucks. So, yeah, how did your writing go, Amanda, this week? Yeah, for me, what happened was I got this massive freelance job and yeah, it's difficult to explain, but like I was supposed to create some brochures for a um, project somewhere. I can't really go into specifics, but then the content was so badly written that now I basically have to go through the source material to find the content myself and then to put it into the brochures. So suddenly something that was supposed to take 10 days is now going to take the rest of the month. The positive side of this, of course, is that they still pay me per day, so I'm making almost double what I was going to. But the bad thing is that it's taking up pretty much all of my hours. And then by the time I'm done for the night, which is sometimes like 10 p.m. at night, I'm just so tired. I can't even think about writing. So yeah, tonight I just said, you know what, I have to rest. I have to just like stop no later than 7 o'clock, and that was basically it. So it was nice to know that I did have this arrangement to put the YouTube live up because then at least it gave me a reason to just close the document because otherwise I might have been trying to force myself to work even more tonight, which sort of sucked. So Amanda says she her writing has been going well. I'm a little over halfway to my goal, and yeah, she says that my work is good for money, but not for writing. Yeah, it's the interesting thing is actually that my writing, my work is actually writing. So it's convenient in a sense. It's nice because it doesn't usually feel like I'm working. It's more of a passion job, which is great. But yeah, sometimes it does get tiring when you're not working on your own stuff. So that gets a bit sucky. But I'm thinking maybe we should just hang out and chill a little bit because it did look like some of the other campers were going to join us. But maybe by 5 minutes past the hour, I'm going to do our first sprint. If that's okay, Amanda, you can just let me know. Yeah. So Amanda, and then of course I want to find out from you what is your best survival tip for when life is like really hectic when you do Camp Nano? Do you just kind of put NaNoWriMo on a sideline, or do you um, do you actually keep writing and just push yourself through, or how do you approach it? Because I know it's really difficult sometimes this time of the year to get stuff done. So I was wondering how you do it, because usually, I don't know about you, but I find that stuff really gets really difficult to maintain around Camp NaNoWriMo towards the second and then the fourth week. If you get to the fourth week is easy. So yeah, that's what I've always found. I personally, I try to write anyway. Even if I am busy, I try to get some writing done, because even if I don't get to my total word counts, then it does add up and keep me within um, within a range um, for making a, you know, if my par is 1,000 a day, then even if I write 200 a day, it means that I don't have as much catching up to do eventually as I would if I just did nothing. But like I said, this month just really sucked for that. But yeah, I'm still going to. I'm hoping maybe editing tonight and then getting some editing done tomorrow is probably going to help me just get closer to catching up. And then I'm going to take Easter off as well, so that's nice. But yeah, so Amanda says, I keep writing. I find little times to write, like waiting in the pickup line at school when getting my son. But my house is a disaster, so there's that. Yeah, I exactly know. I don't even want to show you guys. My um camera is basically moved precisely to show absolutely nothing of the chaos that is currently my bedroom, because it is just like um yeah, it's horrible, because I just literally between editing and getting this freelance work done and getting everything else finished, I just, like, the whole tidying up thing is not really that high in my priority list. So yeah, it's a bit sucky, but and I'm not proud of it, but this is, it's what it is. So yeah. Okay, it's 5 past, so I think I'm just going to count down if you're ready, Amanda, and then we'll do the 20-minute sprint. Amanda, in the meantime, says it's keeping the house clean or the kids alive. We can't do both right now. Yes, I completely understand that feeling. It's survival mode, or yeah, it's basically survival mode. Okay, so I'm just going to yeah, I'm going to. Oh goodness, I don't know where it is. Sorry, my modern timer that I use to time my 20 minutes closed on me. Ah, good grief. Okay, there we go. Luckily, it didn't take too long. Okay, so I'm going to count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Hi, Nisha.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. You just caught us in a sprint, so we'll be back in about 4 minutes.
Oh, okay.
All right. We want to sprint for 5 minutes. Just one thing as well, could you just mute while we're sprinting? Because if you're playing music or anything, it creates trouble with the music, with copyright and stuff like that, please. Thanks.
Okay.
and climb. So, how did you do, Amanda? Because I know you were you were the only one sprinting the full climb. So, how did you do? And hi to 21st Century Da Vinci and to London Level. I'm really glad you guys could join us. That is really great. So it's fun to see you guys with me. Yeah, so I think yeah. So to recap for 21st Century Da Vinci, who just says, "Wait, what? We just got here." So we basically just had our first 20-minute sprint, so you guys didn't miss very much, but it was basically that was what you guys missed. So not much. So, London, thank you very much for joining me on the Hangout itself. I think maybe just for the benefit of everyone, just tell us a bit about yourself and tell me what you're writing and what you're working on and stuff like that. So, London.
So
Thank you very much for joining me.
I'm not sure how to respond because I have Google Hangouts and YouTube up, and they're both saying different things at a different time. But I'm Flit on NaNo. So hi, London, but you can call me Flit or London, it doesn't matter. I write young adult fiction. I'm not working on anything special right now. I'm just trying to get in the habit of writing every day again. So that's pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm also like you trying to get into the habit of writing every day. It's I find if I do that, that's when I'm at my most productive. So that's definitely a very good way to do it. So, yeah. Do you write a specific genre at all?
Yeah, so I like contemporary young adult fiction. It's easiest. I'm trying to do new things to kind of stretch, like exercise and get outside of my comfort zone, but a little bit at a time. I'm trying to add a little bit of mystery. I'm not terribly good at it, so it's fun just trying something new though.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I've tried to write mystery, but I think it's a bit more of a mind shift to actually get that done because I think I haven't really figured out how to do that yet. Maybe one day I'll do that. But from my point, I'm actually writing more speculative fiction, so fantasy, a bit of sci-fi, that kind of thing. So thanks for I see. So 21st Century Da Vinci, which is also AKA Jim. Call me Jim. So okay, thanks for joining us, Jim. Why don't you also let us know what you're working on and also just what you are doing specifically for Camp Nano this month, or whether you also have just like a general thing. Amanda says, I'm rewriting my Nano novel. That's so, yeah, I remember you mentioning that last week that you were planning it out. So I'm glad to see that you're getting into the rewrite itself, Amanda. That's very cool. Yeah. So, okay, I think maybe shall we just go into our next 20-minute sprint? Are you guys ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to count down 5 seconds and then I'm just going to launch the next 20 minutes. Okay. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. and time. So let us know how you guys did, and then also maybe if you have like a favorite line or a favorite like excerpt of what you wrote or edited right now, maybe you want to share it. So just let me know, and then we'll see. I saw earlier before I started the sprint, Jim actually had a comment about what he was writing, and he said he's finishing an old Nano project, Anima Ex Machina. Think of hell, had a granddaughter in charge of a warship. Oh dear, yeah, that sounds a little terrifying, actually. So I think that's a very interesting concept, Jim. Amanda says she did more research and not much new to share. But you know what? Research is also really good. So good on you. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So yeah. Let's see. While I'm waiting for more replies, let me see what I was just working on seconds ago. Okay, so I'm busy editing this month for Nano, in case you guys didn't realize, because even though I use the word count, I basically translate 1 hour of editing to 1,000 hours of writing. So it's just basically it's more accurate than Nano's way of counting hours, because then I can really just work out to the minute how much I did equivalent to writing. So for me, I've basically just fixed up some of my stuff, and I think I really like what I did with the sentence here. So what I have is Darian stilled, but the harsh beat of his pulse at the side of his neck gave him away. His rage thrummed through Callan's skin. Do you have plans for removing me, Lord Basriel? Quiet, but the lethal edge underlying every word gave her shivers. So that's basically what I've been working on just seconds ago. Jim says a sentence from some old writing. When she went to deny credit for it, her brain hit the emergency brake so hard that she bit her tongue. Nice. Amanda says, thinking about how big the universe is, or living for eternity after death, has always left me breathless. It was immeasurable, unfathomable. I don't think anything happens after we die. I'm pretty sure this is it, but I haven't thought much about it. I was such a liar. That's really cool, guys. I really think you guys have some very, very nice way, nice style and nice voice in your writing. So that's really cool. So, London, are you still with me? Because you're really quiet.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So, do you have an excerpt or?
No. I literally opened the document and just started writing some stuff. I don't like what I have been working on for camp, so I'm debating starting over with something. So I'm kind of in this up in the air place where I'm not sure yet where to move forward. See what happens.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision. So yeah, I've had to make a similar decision before as well. So I have 100% sympathy for you. It sucks a bit. So.
It's such an annoying place, and it gives you like writing paralysis. You could be completely psyched about something 1 minute and really energetic and just putting just so many words on the paper, and then you get that thought in your head, this is crap, I have no idea what I'm doing, just throw this away. And then it's like, well, where do I go from here, because I was just in the middle of this goal, and now so yeah.
I think for me, I when I get that kind of feeling, I try to basically ignore it. It sounds rather funny, but I'm very critical of my own writing. So if I actually listened to that little voice in the back of my head telling me that my writing is crap, especially during my rough draft phases, it's really, I wouldn't be able to write anything. It took me like, when I did listen to that little voice and I tried to edit everything I wrote, I got so almost stuck in my own mind. So I failed at writing like 7 books, and it took me like 10 years, almost a decade, to finish any drafts, because every time I get to like the middle, then I'm like, oh no, this sucks. No, I have to start again. And then at one stage, I just read a book called The Right to Write by Julia Cameron, and she just basically gave me this idea of, listen, it's okay to suck, so just write it anyway, even if it is terrible. And then once it's done, you can actually go back and either fix it, or you are going to discover that really it wasn't that bad after all. And that's actually, I've found that when I did that was when I finished my first book, and I did find that it wasn't that bad, and that it actually was more just my own self-criticism that was kind of weighing me down the whole time. So that's kind of what I found. But maybe your situation is a bit different. But yeah.
Thank you. I'm not really sure yet.
Mm. Amanda says, after the second draft is where things start looking up, if you ask me. I agree. For me, when I write a rough draft, it's literally just to get like a really basic idea down of what I want. And then when I actually rewrite, then I go into much more detail, and that's when my book starts looking like a book. So that's really cool. It's just, but the funny thing is that a lot of the things that I end up keeping from my first draft to my second draft, the stuff that I like, that I want to make sure is those things that have to be into the second draft. Those things are actually the things that if I had been editing and self-editing while I was writing the first draft, those are usually the things I would have dumped out or cut out or whatever and taken away, because those things weren't the things that I had in mind as I was rough drafting. So it's definitely, I found that it for me to start writing well, I just really needed to get to a place where a rough draft would suck and I just let it organically grow. And then going from that, I do plan then my rewrites, and then I go into a rewrite that's more structured. But it's just, yeah, I find that there's a place for everything. So for me, a rough draft it's terrible. I would never let someone read my rough drafts at all. Because it's fine. So yeah, but okay. So are we going to go for another 20-minute sprint at the top of the hour?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I'm just going to, it's a minute left, but yeah. But I have to say, I'm really glad you guys joined, because it's really nice to just not be alone. Because tonight, you and Jim came in late London, and it's Amanda and I were talking about the fact that I've been so crazy busy with the freelance work I have now at the moment, and I've been so exhausted. So tonight I was like, oh gosh, I still have to edit. I can't do this. And then I remembered that this was supposed to have a YouTube hangout, and I'm finding that just being able to talk and have company and stuff while doing this is actually really helping me. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. It's awesome of you guys. Okay.
Thanks for putting this together.
It's no problem. Okay, so it's the top of the hour now, so I'm going to count down from 5 seconds, and then we get going again for another 20 minutes. All right. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And time's up for the 20-minute sprint. How did you guys do? I actually also did a bit better as well, so it's also really cool. Um, mm, yeah. London says the power of a little pep talk. I'm back to my nano project and feeling like I can do this. Awesome. That is an awesome way of thinking about it. You can do this. You totally have to. I hope you get it done. Amanda says, finally did some writing. Awesome. Very cool. So, that, do you want to share what you wrote, Amanda? Okay, so sometimes what happens, in case you guys are wondering why there's a bit of, seems to be a bit of a delay, is there is a delay between when Hangouts records the video that we are talking live and when it gets broadcasted onto YouTube. So the responses come like 1 to 2 minutes after I've spoken, and then it feels a bit dodgy.
I noticed there was a delay. It was very strange.
Yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to. That's why I sometimes just I'll ask a question and then I'll go launch into my whole own thing, answering my own question to give people a moment to write down their answers as well. Because otherwise, I don't like this idea of. So, what do you guys think of this? You know?
Sitting for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So so now, and because usually what happens is that I do this recording like this, talking, and then the other people are doing the voice messages, or the typed messages. So it's kind of, it's cool to have you hanging out on video as well, but now it's really interesting to have like a live conversation with you, and then also the slightly delayed conversation in text as well. So
yeah. I muted the video on the YouTube live so that I didn't hear you and then hear you all over again.
Yeah. I also watch the YouTube video as I'm writing, and then I also mute it because it does. I don't know if you also find it, but if you can hear an echo of your own voice coming back at you, you start talking slower and slower and slower the whole time. So I just don't want to have to cope with that. But yeah. So Amanda says she's sharing an excerpt from her writing, and it says, I crawled and retrieved the Tallahassee newspaper dated June 22, 1992, and read the headline, Foul play suspected in Lake Iomonia drowning. There was a picture of a smiling teenage girl that took off half of the front page. Where did she get a paper this old? I unfolded it and saw that Mom had underlined Mary Ann Welsh. I reached for the other paper under the table, a piece of hotel stationery that read Mary Ann with a phone number written in Mom's careful hand. What was this for? This is interesting.
This is really interesting.
Now I want to know, what is it for?
I know. Well, that is a mystery. Very good, Amanda. Beautiful.
Very nicely written. So let me see what I wrote. At this stage, actually it's a bit. Yeah, I kind of went from an interesting scene to a bit more of a transitionary scene. So, let's see. Callan nodded. Once it sauntered out and shut the door behind him, she fell back onto the bed. She pushed her pillow to her face, groaning at herself. Good dream? Claire asked. Callan managed a wheezy laugh before tossing the pillow at her. What time is it? Midnight. Damn. If she'd known she'd get a little rest, she wouldn't have bothered to sleep. She scowled and stared at nothing for a few seconds, trying not to think of the lingering heat still stirring in her blood. What had all that been about anyway? So that's basically my mystery for the night. So
Nice.
Thanks. But yeah, so usually what last or it's not even usually it's I haven't really done these longer form hangouts before. So last week Amanda and I basically stopped at 3 sprints, but now two of you guys basically came in a bit late. So are you interested in doing one last sprint, guys? I'm putting it up for a vote.
I mean, I have time to, so I would be up for it.
Okay.
But I don't mind either way.
All right. Let's see what the others are saying. What are you saying, Amanda? And now, to fill the space as we wait for the delay. Okay, Amanda says sure. All right, so I think we're going to do one last sprint and then we can call it a night or a day, depending on your time zone. So yeah, okay, so I'm going to count down for our 5 seconds again and then we get going. All right,
Sounds
so,
good.
cool. Good luck, everyone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. and time. So how did you guys do? Let me know. Let me know. Sorry. It's probably just as well that this is the last sprint, because my brain just completely went off on a 100% different random tangent just now. I completely spaced out. Sorry. Okay, so Jim said, "Sure, I need a break. Anyone need info on a Saturn V?" Well, sadly, no. But you're welcome to tell us. It's always, if you have interesting trivia, that works. And Amanda says it's good, so her writing session went well. Mine as well, but yeah, I think I'm going to call it tonight for tonight after this, because I don't think it's going to be good to try and edit anymore when I'm like spacing out as I'm sitting here wide awake. So yeah. So how did you do, London?
I'm good. Got some words down, so
yeah,
that's a start for me for right now.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's just little bits and they all add up.
So yeah.
Mm.
This is so awkward being on camera and talking like this. It's so much easier to just type. I'm more used to hanging out with other writers through like maybe Discord or Facebook Messenger or something. And I have not done this very often where you can see and talk. So I'm just like, I'm not used to having to talk out loud and like put my thoughts where you can see what I'm thinking. I'm just normally used to putting it into words. So I have to get used to this, and then hopefully it won't be as quiet and stagnant every time.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I didn't really think that you were really bad at this, so don't worry.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't really notice that it felt like halting or stuttering or anything. So you did well. No, but I understand what you're saying. It is a bit of a mind shift to get in front of the camera and just talk and talk and talk. But for me, I like doing this every now and then because, well, my freelance work is also writing and editing and sometimes a bit of graphic design. But I mean, it's just like literally, I never talk to people if I don't actually sit down and make myself talk to people. I can go for probably like 80% of my day and not have ever like use my voice. So it's probably not a healthy thing to do that. So I talk when I can.
Yeah.
So Jim says more words than this morning. Absolutely. That's the best thing about it. It's just, even if it's not getting as far as the goal, you still add a little bit and it does get you somewhere. Amanda says, I think I'm ready for a break. I've been on 2 live streams for the past 4 hours. Yeah, I think that's pretty extreme. I think that's probably going to be a good idea to rest for a little bit. And Jim says again after that, he says, this reminds me of the Nano writings at the library, but not as quiet. Yeah, I'm not quiet type, except for where I mentioned where I don't really talk to people when I work. But yeah, and Amanda says I started the YouTube channel and I need to get used to it too. It's so hard. Yeah, I've actually, it sounds really funny, or not funny. I really have to change that phrase. It's kind of crept into my language and it won't go away. But yeah, it sounds weird, but I've actually started my YouTube channel, I think, in 2016 already, and I'm still not used to it. So, but it's the biggest thing is to just get used to talking to the camera as if it's a person. And once you can do that, that's not that too bad. But for me, the hardest part with the YouTube channel thing is to actually make the time to get all the editing done and to set up a proper video. And now at the moment, my problem is my cat jumped my camera down from its shelf and now it's screwed. So now I have to first buy a new camera, which I will one day do when I have money. And then I will actually just like get back to doing a proper formal channel. But for now, I'm just doing live streams. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, cameras are expensive.
Yeah, and my heart was broken because I bought that camera in 2013, and it's not like you get like $4,000 cameras. It's not one of those, but it was so for where I live. It was an upper range DSLR camera, and because I bought a more expensive one for that particular pay range, if I can put it that way, for the simple reason that I considered that if you buy a bit higher quality, then it lasts longer. And I went to it, I took it with me when I went to Europe, and I was actually going on another trip to Europe just the week after the cat jumped it down, and I was planning to take the camera with me. And then it literally, I don't know what happened, but basically it looks like the barrel of the lens just went loose and they can't fix it. So, or they can fix it, but it costs twice as much as a new camera would cost. So I'm just like, yeah.
Might as well get it done. Yeah. You had said talking to the camera, talk to it as if you're talking to a person, and I kind of giggled because I thought, that's not really helpful. That could be just as awkward.
Yeah, I suppose that is true. It's yeah, it's just the biggest thing about it is that people have this way when they talk to a camera, they're like, I have done this thing and I can't, and then it's just, if you're trying to have like a performance in front of the camera, it's probably not going to work as well. Although you should, at the same time, you should actually have a bit of a performance in front of the camera, because for videos to really work, I think you do need to be a little bit more lively and a bit more expressive in your expressions and so on, than you are when you would be like drinking coffee with friends. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, you have to put on your most like, not hyper, but your most interesting part of your personality.
Yeah, and more, yeah, it's also just, lively. If it's not lively, it doesn't, I can't remember who, I've been watching a lot of videos about YouTube videos lately, because part of my job at the moment is to actually tell people what the best practice for stuff like this is. So I've had to do a lot of research, and someone actually said that you have to be like 150% energetic.
Yeah,
for it to come across on camera as if it's a normal level of energetic. So probably I'm already apologizing in advance, because I'm probably going to, when someone's going to be watching this back one day, they're going to be like, gosh, this person is like a limp dish rag. Because like yeah, so I try to be a bit more lively, but some days it's just like, you know what? I'm a real person. I'm just doing me. I can't do more. So yeah. So I see a lot of messages suddenly coming in. So let me just quickly get like the Done Creative. Welcome. What's your name? I'm not exactly sure who you are, so just let us know so that we can just refer to you by name maybe. But your question is, are you guys on Instagram? I am. My name is Misha Garrick on Instagram as well. So you can just, it's /Misha Garrick no anything else, no characters or anything like that. And then
oh, it's Amanda.
oh,
She switched her accounts. I see Amanda Dunn, the Dunn Creative.
no, sorry. Yes, it is a name from Amanda Dunn.
Connection either.
Goodness. So, okay, she says, it's not easy to film videos on my professional camera if I'm going to be in front of the camera. So I'm getting more vlogger style camera soon. And then she gave her Instagram. And thanks. And she said she added me. So cool. I'll add you back as well. Yeah, for me, it was just basically when I started with the channel, I want to do more, not really vlogger stuff, more like informative non-fiction kind of video vlogs. So it's a bit of a combination because I do want to be a bit personal sometimes, but I don't really want to be vlogging per se. And so for me, that's why the more higher end camera is a bit better. But for me, the big thing was like I said, before I actually started even looking at starting my own channel, I actually watched a lot of videos and stuff and videos about creating content so that I could figure out what the best practice is ahead of time. And even then, I still made a lot of mistakes. And now that I actually know better, after spending like hours and hours and hours more doing this, I kind of realized that maybe I'm kind of considering to just delete some of my old videos that are really bad because the sound sucks on those. So, but yeah, it's for me, it's just, like for example, people don't realize it, but a lot of people when they have like a DSL camera that they're looking at, they don't look at the lens, they look at the flash. And that's kind of a big mistake because it looks basically like you're talking like this the whole time instead of actually looking straight into
at the
it.
camera.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't actually into the eyes of the person you're talking with. But yeah, so for me it's silly things like that that I've learned how to handle almost from listening to what other people had to say. That helped me a lot with thinking about how to handle like a big camera in front of my face. But yeah, the biggest thing that I did find that was very helpful was when I bought a tripod, because that actually just having something that aims it right and makes it just point at your face where you want it to point is awesome. Because I will tell you something, that a DSLR camera isn't heavy when you're shooting, but when you are trying to shoot yourself and aiming it at your face like this and you can't see what you're doing, that is almost impossible. I'm just saying it right now. It's horrifyingly difficult. So Amanda says, I'm a photographer, videographer, so I already have all the equipment, fixed lights, etc. It's just not easy to make sure I'm in make sure I'm in focus with my 5D MK 3. I like being behind the camera, not in front of it, but I'm trying to put myself out of my comfort zone. Yeah, and yeah, that's always the thing, is just to push past that comfort zone, isn't it? Because usually those places just beyond that boundary we think we can't cross is actually the place that's really the place that's worthwhile to be in. So I really hope that you actually do try get your channel going, Amanda, and that it goes well for you. So that would be really cool. Next week, maybe you should join us on the Hangout, and then you get used to being on camera. So,
yeah, that would be really cool to have all of us on here.
Yeah, good. That would be awesome.
Well, thank you again for putting this together. Are you trying to do this every week then?
Yeah, I decided to do the Camp Nano ones because for 4 weeks, just to do it once a week to see if it worked out. And I think this is actually quite a nice time to just keep doing it even after Camp Nano. So I think I'm just going to keep doing it for now and indefinitely because it's nice. It's a little bit of accountability and a little bit of inspiration. So it's cool. I would like it if you guys want to join.
Yeah, I think I like staying in touch with, like, making new writing buddies and staying in touch and forming. I mostly go on Discord, which I'll tell you guys about in the Camp Nano chat that we have going on. Maybe we can start one together.
That would be cool. I'm also on Discord, so.
Are you? Okay. Yeah, we'll exchange info over there, and I'll start a server for us. Anybody who wants to join can join, and then we can stay in touch after camp and maybe get into a cabin together for like July camp or something.
Yeah, actually, as it happens, quite a few of us who are in that cabin actually do belong to like a group. So
cool.
yeah, but I think having a Discord server actually might make it nice and easy as well. So we can definitely talk about that in the camp chat as well. So
for sure.
Yeah. So Jim, okay, Amanda says I've never done a live stream or a hangout. There's no better time to do that, but now you can just try it next week, Amanda. It's not difficult. Ask London. It's once you get in, it's just being live.
So yeah, you just follow the link that she shared in the chat, and it opened up Hangouts. And since I already apparently had an account, it just turned on my camera and asked permissions. So it was as easy as just hopping on.
Yeah, it's really and I find it fun because it's not as delay before we get into talking, but it's cool. If you don't want to, you can keep chatting as well. But it's fun to be online like this, I think. Jim says he's the same. I have training on everything but the front of the camera, though that's changing. And this was quite nice. I loved it. Maybe I'll cobble up a camera. Discord versus YouTube. The rest of my house uses Discord. And send me an email and I'll get you into the all-year cabin, he says. That's for you, London. So.
Yeah. So okay. Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think maybe we could just start signing off, and then I assume that you guys now know that next week, same time, I'll have the next live stream going as well. I will try to be a bit better about getting this up sooner, to schedule it sooner. So if you guys want to invite more people to the live stream or whatever, then just then you can get the link ahead of time and share it like that, which makes it a lot easier and better to get people together. I felt really bad about doing it only today, but yeah. So I'll do it a bit earlier next week, hopefully.
All right. I will see you next week and talk to you guys in the camp cabin.
Great. Have a great day, guys. And thanks very much for joining again. And see you soon and chat in the camp cabin again. Bye-bye.
Bye.